everyone, welcome back. Juanita here with Homeschool Now. I wanted to give you a brief update of something I thought was really cool that just happened this week in New Hampshire, of all places. Governor Kelly Ayotte just did something very incredible. In fact, let me show you my screen so you can kind of follow along. Give me one moment here. There we go. Okay, so she's the governor of New Hampshire, of course. She just signed House Bill 1268. It essentially simplifies the homeschool laws, which reduces, regulations and places educational decisions back into the hands of parents. And as you can see, here's the timeline of that, and is now officially law. I think that is so great. I just had to cover this, and I'm hoping that other states are taking notes as well, because as I always talk about here on this channel, parents are the primary educators according to God's law. Deuteronomy 6 does not put the responsibility of raising children on the government. It didn't say, God speaking to the Israelites, he didn't say, pass that responsibility on to, the king or the prime minister or the priest or the prophet. And he said, no, you teach them. And this is really incredible because it's as though we're able to see that lived out here in one state in a very spectacular way. Here's another brief article that's describing it as well. It says, Ayotte signs bill loosening homeschool requirements. So here you have the homeschool families can now opt out of some state oversight under this new bill. And by the way, this was just signed into law on Friday. So that was July 10th. So that's about a week ago. So the story's about a week old, but it is incredibly, incredibly rich. It allows parents to homeschool their children to choose whether they want to notify the state or the local school district, or if they don't want to notify the state or the local school district. Do you want to participate in annual evaluations, or do you not want to participate? Like, that is the way it should be. Do you want to keep educational records and materials for at least 2 years, or do you not want to? Now, my recommendation is to keep records, because you may need to move out of New Hampshire to another state, a stricter state, and you don't want to have, fumble and be concerned and worried. And when you're trying to move, that's not the time to be, panicking because you don't have all the resources you need to prove that you're an adequate educator, which you likely are. But so I would always recommend keeping assessments and keeping those materials on hand. But nonetheless, here in New Hampshire, they're saying if you want to do that, you can. If you don't want to do that, you don't have to, because you're the parent and God gave you that responsibility, and you're responsible for them. The state is not directly, and that can get fuzzy sometimes because you have opponents of these sorts of bills who will say, well, if you say these sorts of things, then parents are going to take advantage and hurt their children. What normal thinking parent, right, who loves their child so much that they're willing to change their entire life, they have to modify their entire lives to properly homeschool their children, who's going to turn around and abuse their children? Like, that's not even in a norm. Now, I'm not saying those things don't happen. I'm saying that the people who care about their children, who are going through all these hoops, like in New Hampshire in the first place, to educate their children properly, they're not the ones who are going to be committing crimes against their children. That's the whole point. They love their children, and they do not want to see their children bullied in school. They do not want to see their children, take on different personalities and begin indulging in different activities that they know are bad for them and that will harm them. They do not want to see their child turn into little demons, like what you're seeing in these public school systems. They're the very opposite of that. And so sometimes it bothers me when, you hear people, well, they may try to hurt their children. What world are you living on? The reason they can say that is because of one of two things. Either one, they themselves are guilty of such crimes, and so they project onto everyone else, or two, maybe they've seen it. They've seen those sorts of things happen. But they have to delineate, they have to be able to carefully itemize the parent who is responsible and who loves their children and who's living up to that every single day by providing for them and looking out for ways to protect them in ways that most parents don't even think of, versus the parent who maybe just lazily don't want I don't want to send my child to school because I don't want to get out of bed. That's a completely different situation. And so I commend the parents who are homeschooling for all the right reasons. And congratulations. New Hampshire, you guys are leading the pack, and us here in Texas, we're watching you. We're watching you. All right, guys, this was just a short video. I had to comment. I thought that was so incredible. Way to go, Kelly Ayot. I think I'm saying your name correctly. Or maybe it's Ayot. Thank you so much for what you've done, and we are just applauding you. Standing ovation to you for signing that bill into law. Guys, thanks so much for watching this video. I will see you again next time. God bless.